This is gonna be awesome, right?
Sport, wide open watts. Are you ready? 3, 2, 1, go. Hey gearheads, and welcome to Garage Talk. I'm Corey, and this is a 2026 Chevy Blazer EV SS, the top performance variant of Chevy's largest SUV EV they sell. I have had this vehicle before, and since we last drove it, the EPA has taken 1 mile off its total range, but don't worry, it still has over 600 horsepower. I've been living with this one for a week, which includes a trip down to Houston and back, and in this video, I will give you my 5 likes and my 5 gripes of this Blazer EV SS. The first thing I want to do is say a huge thank you to Chevrolet for bringing us our second Blazer EV SS. And since this is our second one, I'm going to do a slightly different review here. I have been living with this for a full week. I did road trip it down to Houston and back, so I've got a lot of time here in the seat. And I want to give you my top 5 favorite and my top 5 least favorite things I have learned about this car in our second go round with it. But as we have been doing here lately, this is a driving review, so let's hop behind the wheel and talk about it as we go.
Yeah, man.
Oh yeah, I have a stowaway riding with me. Tucker has joined me in the back seat, but I'm gonna put my foot on the brake, put it in drive, and we can set off. And I want to start this review off talking about my 5 favorite things because, well, that is the easiest to talk about because there is a lot to like here on this one. Starting with number 1, it's fast.
This is gonna be awesome, right?
Sport, wide open watts. Are you ready? 3, 2, 1, go.
Oh my, oh my, oh my!
Before I show you firsthand just how quick it is, I do want to talk about how this thing is put together. First and foremost, we have a very short hood, so there's no real under hood or front trunk storage underneath here, but we do have dual electric motors that produce a total of 615 horsepower and 650 pound-feet of torque, and sending it to all 4 wheels with nearly 0 wheel spin because EV traction can adjust on the fly much quicker than anything internally combustion powered. So this thing is quite a blast, which I guess is what you're dying to see. They have different drive modes here on the screen: normal, sport, snow, ice, my, and Z mode. We're going to go ahead and put it in sport, turn on wide open watts, get all these sound effects, and our Racebox 0 to 60 timer is set up and ready to go. So we're just going to get out on this straight stretch of road and see exactly what it's capable of. We also have a 0 to 60 timer here in front of me on the screen built into the car, so we'll compare the two. But stand firmly on the brake, floor it, 3, 2, 1, and off we go! My goodness, this is so fast, Tucker!
Yeah.
Woo! Okay, the car says 3.1 seconds. The GPS Racebox race timer says 3.56. The difference there being the GPS timer has to wait on us to move to actually register. It also has a 1-foot rollout. The one on the car is built in. It knows exactly when I let go of the brakes. It also knows exactly, based on wheel speed, when we hit 60 miles per hour. So you can see a little bit of the difference between the two, but we'll re-examine it again at the end of the drive.
Yeah.
Tucker, what did you think?
That was cool.
Now that we're on my favorite driving road, I'm actually going to put it into normal to talk about the 4 other things I like about this one so much. And normal is where I've had it over the week's worth of testing, driving it to and from Houston. So number 2 for me on my likes list is it's actually quite luxurious in here. My goodness, the luxury in here, this is unlike any other Chevy product I have seen in recent days. Just the amount of colors and textures and materials they use throughout the entire cabin. The seats alone have Evotex in gray, Evotex in orange, some gray cloth and gray suede with embossed SS on the headrest. And then, oh yes, they are heated and ventilated up front. And the rear seats have a lot of luxuries too. It is super easy just to get in and drive because with the key on my person, I just sit in the driver's seat and it knows, hey, we're good to set off, which is really cool. When I want to turn it off, I just put it in park and hop out. And to go with the luxury items, the seats, all the different amenities, we have a very luxurious feature called Super Cruise. Perhaps the most luxurious feature of this vehicle is Super Cruise hands-free driving. In my time going down to Houston and back, which is about a 4-hour trip, I touched the steering wheel for about 30 total combined minutes the entire trip. I am very impressed with the types of roads that General Motors has added to Super Cruise over the years. Not only is it just for interstates, it actually does a lot of roads both in and out of town, including right here in Tyler, Texas. The only thing I've noticed that it doesn't do is Super Cruise you up to a traffic light. So it will turn off as you're coming up to it, and then right as you get to the traffic light, it takes back over. Another thing I really like about this platform is because it is an EV, the wheels are stretched out to the corners, which means it's actually quite spacious on the inside. The front passenger has plenty of space over here, power operated seat controls, as with the power operated driver's seat with 2-person memory. Popping into the back seat and sitting behind myself at 5'10", I have an embarrassment of space back here. This is like a full-size pickup truck in just how much room I have behind my driver's seat at 5'10", 5'10" back here. Tons of space for my feet, just tons of room all the way around back here. In addition to the copious amount of space behind the driver's seat, the wider vehicle platform means I can sort of ride next to Tucker's child safety seat right here. But if we had 3 adults back here, it would not be as much of a problem as this hard plastic child safety seat. It is fairly easy to install thanks to these plastic covers on the lower latch points, and the top tether isn't too bad either. The center seat is also a little bit lower, so I have actually more headroom here in the center seat than I do in the 2 outboard seats. And the floor is completely flat back here, so I've got a lot of place to put my feet that even fit behind the center console. So they really have thought about interior packaging here in the Blazer EV. Another thing I really appreciate about the Blazer EV SS is its range. Many other performance EVs sacrifice their range, dipping down into the mid-200s, but the EPA does rate this one at 302 miles, which is one less than the one we tested last year, but is still quite impressive for something with over 600 horsepower and 600 pound-feet of torque with a 0 to 60 time below 3.5 seconds. Very impressive. You can see we're still using the old J1772/CCS plug here, but it is compatible with the Tesla network, and it does come with a supplied adapter for you to do that as well. Some small gripes I have, well, we do have a very slow motorized door here, and the fact that, yes, it does have 302 miles of estimated range on a full charge, that's probably going to be more city driving. In my time taking this to Houston and back, we're averaging right at 2.4 miles per kilowatt hour, which is right under the 2.5 the EPA estimates it at. If you multiply 2.5 times the 102 kilowatt hour battery we have in this, you'll get just over 250 miles of range, which ain't 302. So it's all in how you drive it. And the way I've been driving this has mostly been with Super Cruise. Still, a very good range number, at least on paper. I was able to drive it from Tyler to Houston without stopping once. It made a cross-Texas road trip very easy, and that is also made easier by the improvement of the overall charging infrastructure here in Texas. It's changed quite a bit since the first time I took a road trip across Texas to pick Holly up from Amarillo in a Mustang Mach-E. Now it's time to jump into my 5 dislikes of this Blazer EV. Okay, the easiest, biggest gripe is the fact that there is no phone projection at all. No CarPlay, no Android Auto, which they have been doing a lot to curtail. So you can see there is now a dedicated Apple Music app, which there was not before. I downloaded Waze, which is my preferred navigation app. We still don't get Apple Maps on it, which it's hit or miss. I really do use Waze the most. But if you are truly ingrained in the Apple ecosystem, that is going to be a big miss for you. You still get your text messages displayed on the screen if you pair your phone properly. You get a lot of the functionality, but the biggest problem I had with no phone projection was, and it happened to me on multiple stops on this trip, not once, not twice, not 3 times, but 4 times over my trip to and from Houston, is the car lost GPS signal. So no matter if I was using Waze or the built-in Google Maps, no matter what I was using, it said no GPS. It lost me completely. And you might be saying, oh, well, that's no big deal. You just reset it. Well, because the only way to turn the car off or even turn the screen off is to get out of your seat. You can't really do that when you're on a long haul trip like I was trying to make good time. You also can't reset the system all that easily while you're in motion. So if you go in here to home, to settings, you can go into vehicle. You can see it's a lot of stuff you have to dig through, and to get to it, I can't even find it right now. Let's see, system, here we go. And then there should be somewhere, nope, reset options, boom, right there. You can't even reset the options while you're in motion, even if you had a passenger riding up front with you. So there's a lot of limitations to the system. Without GPS data too, this doesn't have traffic sign recognition. This uses Google's speed limit in the system. So if the Google Maps doesn't know where you are, you don't get a displayed speed on your gauge cluster on your head-up display. So you're going to be taken back to the 2000s without a full display of what the last posted speed limit was. Something that could have been fixed with traffic sign recognition cameras. If I had CarPlay as a backup, I could have very easily reset my phone and gotten my GPS signal working. But the fact that all of my navigation is built through the screen, as well as my posted speed limit is built through GPS usage, it just feels like when one thing goes down, it all goes down, and it just left me high and dry. Luckily, I knew exactly where I was going, so it didn't turn out to be as big a catastrophic failure as possible. But I did stop and turn the vehicle off multiple times, hoping that would reset it. No go. It was just down for the count. It did finally come back on after about an hour of giving me a no GPS warning on the screen. While it does have good range, it doesn't charge the fastest. It was kind of slow on the uptake versus its Hyundai and Kia rivals. One of the things the Ultium platform was supposed to do was to be a very quick charging platform. It is a pseudo 800 volt system, but it is nowhere near as good as what Hyundai, Kia, and Genesis offer. Hyundai, Kia, and Genesis claim 10 to 80% in their performance EVs in about 18 to 20 minutes. And that really includes everything up to their big 3-row SUVs. Here, not so much the case. It took me about an hour to get that same amount of juice in this 102 kilowatt hour battery pack. Not quite the same as what I would expect from something claiming to be a fast charging vehicle. It does charge quickly, but there are much quicker charging EVs on the market. All right, my last 3 items are kind of tied together here on this one. And one starts with the fact that as an SS, as a super sport, the ride is firm on this, like really firm, almost too firm. In fact, I was bobbling around on fairly straight highways in the Houston area, fairly new concrete highways. It was just bouncing my head around. Not the best feeling or experience. The next is something you experience when you come to a stop. as I'm gonna do right here. And it pairs with the fact that the suspension is so firm. Every time you come to a stop, it wobbles. I have yet to find a chance or an opportunity where I can come to a complete stop where it doesn't wobble on me. It's just fighting physics is so hard. This EV is so heavy with that 102 kilowatt hour battery underneath us that you had to firm up the suspension to make it sporty, but that made it very firm to ride with and made it wobble every time you come to a stop. And my last big gripe with this vehicle is it rattles like a lot. I've got some rattles coming directly from above my head, the headliner here, and the back hatch rattles. There's a rattle somewhere in this massive dash up here. And side note, small gripe here, we do get a lot of glare from this big dash up here. But it just feels like there's a lot of secure pieces in here. It just feels like the NVH isn't quite baked out completely in this one. So yeah, it's a little on the noisy side. And given the fact that it's an EV, we don't have a loud V8 under the hood to distract us. If you're just cruising down the road, not listening to your Bose sound system, you hear all of that. And since we don't have Apple CarPlay in this, and I use Apple Music a lot, and the Apple Music system isn't great, well, it's not a great overall experience. It makes a lot of noise in here, and I'm constantly fumbling trying to find my music in a way that I like to listen to it. I feel like they could make this sound in here a lot better by just giving us CarPlay, making it easier for me to get to my music. That could just be a me thing, being in the Apple ecosystem as heavily as I am. As we get to the end of our test road here, I am going to test it one more time in sport mode, wide open watts. I did turn off the 1 foot rollout. Let's see exactly what this thing is capable of. Ready, set, and off we go. Oh my goodness, this is so fast. Woo! Shoo! So the car did not record that one, and the GPS race timer said 3.82, so it actually got slower. Tucker, what are your thoughts?
That was awesome.
We're going to turn around and try it one more time. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I just love that sound effect though.
Yeah. All right, are you ready? You want to count us down? 3,
2, 1, let's go!
Oh my goodness, this thing is so fast. Woo! All right, the car said 3.1. And the GPS timer says 3.72 with a 1 foot rollout, disabled. So, I mean, right at 3.5 seconds, if you average the two, I'd say this thing's pretty quick. Tucker, what is your experience back there in the back seat?
It is great.
Well, that about brings us to the end of our review here of this one. I do want to bring up the price. I don't know if it's spec'd slightly different, but this has the same starting price as the one we tested last year, $60,600. But the MSRP of this particular one versus the blue one we tested last actually went down by a little bit, like a couple $100, which I guess is something, you know, making up for the fact that we lost 1 mile of electric range. But after living with this one for a week, I would say this is very much the SS for families. It is quick and very punchy when you want it to be. It does ride decently, though it is on the firm side, but I guess that is something that you just take into consideration when you're buying the performance model. I think the fact that this has 4 doors and can comfortably seat 4 to 5 people is where I start griping about the ride quality and the stopping wobble and all that fun stuff too. I just feel like it should be a little bit better daily driver and a little less sacrifice being made by the fact that we do have a super sport here. If you want to see more from us here on the channel, be sure and hit the subscribe button down below. Ring the bell so you are notified when future videos drop. Find us on all social media channels, Facebook, Instagram, X, TikTok, Threads, YouTube. Everything is at GT Garage Talk, or you can go to gtgaragetalk.com. But as for me and Tucker,
Yeah.
until next time, gearheads.
Bye.
See, there's one just above my head that's driving me nuts.
There's one right above me.
Yeah. Just too much.